Necey Dixon. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you are returning, y'all, welcome back. My welcome almost cracked because I just got off a subscriber call in. And I talked to y'all for about a good hour and 10 minutes about Porsha's family mess. So I was like, dang, you know what? Y'all have my mind going all these different places. I was like, did I even say what I was getting ready to say? I can't remember. But I had so much fun with y'all, okay? So if y'all want to do another subscriber call in, be sure to comment below. Check out the last one. That video is already up right now. And we can do more conversations like that in the future. And then I can do these reviews in a little bit more detail, okay? Like I said, if you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We are on the way to 10,000 subscribers, y'all, which will be crazy because my YouTube anniversary, again, is in April. Then I would have been on YouTube actively. April ain't really my active month, but that's when the account was made, okay? So 2 years in April, and I'm hoping that we can get to 10,000 subscribers, okay? So, y'all, Porsha's family mess. Porsha's family mess, y'all. We are 7 episodes in, which is a super odd number to end the season on, I guess. Season. People are asking if it's going to be a review. No, it's not going to be a review. People asking if it's going to be a reunion. That would be a ratchet damn mess. No, it's not going to be a reunion. I don't want to see that. That's why Storm was trying to give us a reunion on Twitter. And I thought it was funny, because Porsha was riding for Storm when Storm was being her mouthpiece this whole time. And then when Storm got on Twitter, I haven't heard anything from Porsha. Nothing at all. Nothing besides Porsha's little Instagram post that we talked about last week when she was trying to take accountability, but not really take accountability. Just like she did today in the episode with Londi. Let me pull out my clown mask, y'all, because that is just too on brand. In today's episode with Londi, she didn't take accountability. And then Londi started crying. Londi, we got to talk. Londi, we got to talk. Londi, I didn't put you on so many thumbnails. I didn't call you the VIP from the beginning because I thought that you and your mamas was not with the shits. But this episode, you really, really disappointed me. I'm not understanding why you were crying. It gave very much that you just wanted to be liked. It gave very much, why don't you like me as much as Storm? Whereas before, it seemed like you didn't care at all. So what was going on? You don't work for Porsha no more. You don't work for Dennis, because apparently Porsha was the one that got you fired. So it's not like your coin depends on it. I'm not understanding. The episode was ending. This was nothing but a special. I don't think we can expect to see you on TV again. I don't even think Porsha will want to do anything similar to this again and have a show be completely all about her. So Londi, what was the reason? I'm not understanding what was the reason for you to be on Porsha's payroll this episode, but we're going to get into it a little bit more. So let me go ahead and get into the order of events. And if you're here and you haven't liked the video yet, go ahead and do me a favor. All right, y'all. So the episode starts out with this first picture right here. We see Porsha and Dennis doing the child drop-off co-parent exchange, where Dennis is dropping PJ back off to Porsha the night before she has to get tonsil surgery. Now, they're only expecting to be in the hospital for 1 day because it's a routine surgery, but they end up staying for 2.5 days, and they have to be in a little bitty 10 by 10 room after Porsha had already put the pause on Dennis. Another thing, for those of you who watched the episode and those of you who can get a good look at this little bitty picture down here, did y'all notice that Porsha popped up in her humble hairdo? She popped up in the natural shortcut, humble, just slick down, light makeup. She didn't pop up in the 5 bundles and a 13 by 4. I'm like, okay, you giving us a different vibe after you done acted an ass down in Mexico, after you done put the pause on your baby daddy. You trying to give us a more sophisticated vibe. Girl, bye. So she invites Dennis into the house. Dennis is acting like he don't want to come in. And she's like, you act like you're going to turn to dust if you walk in the house. And he's like, I might. And he might, right? So he actually has an appointment at 5 o'clock, he says, so he cannot come into the house. And I wouldn't have came into the house either. Because one thing that you have to do, Dennis, with Porsha, just like whenever y'all was in Mexico and she tried to act like she wanted you to go to jail, we're going to have to meet on neutral grounds, baby. I'm sorry. But I'm not stepping into your house so you can say something went wrong. I'm not. I refuse, okay? She cannot be trusted. Porsha is giving a scorned woman like she has this entire time. She says that her main goal is to have them co-parent. But y'all, in all actuality, Porsha is using the only relationship that she can have with Dennis to get back at him, which is to co-parent. Because I think Dennis has already made it very clear that he is not going to be a monogamous man. He's not going to be a one-woman man. And Porsha is upset about that. So she's using the only relationship that she can to manipulate. That's sad. Okay. So now, y'all, next, we see Aunt Liz and Lauren. We've seen a lot of Aunt Liz this episode. She was kind of the middleman in everything, it felt like. Aunt Liz and Lauren are having conversations. Oh, let me not move on so fast, okay? Let me not move so fast. Hold on. Before Dennis leaves the house, he says, PJ, give me a kiss. Mwah. Shout out to my Twitter follower who mentioned me in this. And I saw it on the episode too. I rewound it. He leans in and kisses his daughter, and Porsha goes, girl, what? No kisses for you. No kisses for you. You kissing Simon. You kissing City Boy Simon. No kisses for you, sweetheart. Goodbye. Okay? So let's move on. Now, y'all, we see Aunt Liz and Lauren having a conversation. And Lauren is saying she felt like this was an epic fail. And it was. And if this was some business that she was trying to get up off the ground, you need to be upset with your sister, because what was going on there was bad for business. And if you ever thought you was going to be able to lead some type of spiritual thing, like, you probably can do it. But this was a bad look, just as bad as Porsha trying to do this show and control her own narrative. So, Lauren, you should be upset with your sister for that. Now, Aunt Liz, she tries to do this whole encouraging, uplifting elder thing, which is beautiful. But, Aunt Liz, tell me, where did Lauren change those people's lives? She called out how Dennis had some change, how Mama Gina had some change. Yeah, they did. But what was the assignment? Okay, I don't understand. It wasn't working. So what she does is says that she's planning to sit down and have a conversation with Dennis, because she wants Dennis to continue to pursue this co-parenting relationship with Porsha. I think she also wants to clear the air and make it very clear that Porsha and her mama's side of the family is over here. I'm over here. I'm not on what they on. Okay, so salute to you for working it out with your baby mama. And y'all, I got to keep pulling this back because I got a dress on and you can't see it because the picture's down there. But anyway, Aunt Liz was trying to separate herself from the bullshit. So next, y'all, PJ ends up going to the hospital and she has to get her tonsils removed. Because of COVID-19, there are no cameras allowed in the hospital. As I told y'all, Porsha and Dennis ended up staying there for two and a half days, just the two of them. And Porsha, in her confessional, she explains, yeah, I just wanted to make sure he was there so she knows her dad was there for her. I wanted to allow him to do that. Allow him. Remember this, y'all. Remember that she's feeling like she's allowing him to be at the hospital with his daughter for a routine surgery, because that type of energy is going to come back around at the end of this review. How are you allowing him to do that when it's in his parental rights? That's his daughter. Girl, goodbye. Okay. So we'll get back to whatever happened at the hospital, or at least with what they shared. So Aunt Liz and Dennis finally meet up. They meet up at a restaurant. And she explains to him that I don't blame you for any of the events that took place. I actually saw you trying to get out of a situation that you couldn't get out of, because you had big old Darlene hanging down on his arms. You had security with the arm around the neck. You had Lauren hitting him. Like, what? So I'm so glad that Aunt Liz actually documented that, because had she not, Porsha and everybody on her payroll would have been trying to act like this man was trying to put his paws on some women. I'm glad that Bravo documented that as well. So that way, whenever Dennis goes to court to get joint custody of his daughter, y'all can't say he was out there being violent, okay? Now, next, y'all, she invites him to a Hosea Feed the Homeless Williams opening event. And I said Feed the Homeless Williams. Hosea Williams Feed the Homeless event. And he says that he's going to try to make it, but I don't think he could because he has something to do. But more importantly, she says, I want you to understand who the real Williams family is. She's basically saying Porsha and her mama, they on this side of the tracks. Okay. I don't know what my brother was doing whenever he decided to lay up with the lady, but we ain't got no control over it. That's they people. Let me show you what we represent, which is weird to me. That part isn't weird, but what's weird to me is the Porsha that we're seeing today. Porsha really, her Williams status is what helped her get on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And it seems as though she's been somewhat of a disappointment to some of her family on the Williams side. And Simon somehow interjects his bald beard bellied ass into the conversation. We're gonna get there, okay? So let's move on from the conversation with Aunt Liz and let's talk about Londi. Londi, girl, unacceptable. So Londy and Porsha meet up for dinner, and automatically, y'all, the energy is weird. Londy says she's nervous. I could tell because she's shaking in her mug boots. She's shaking. And she apologizes. I want to apologize to you for something. I have something for you. And gives her the robe. And I'm like, what are you apologizing for? Why is everything unfolding? Keep that same energy. Why don't y'all do that? It's always a character I like, but then y'all never want to keep the same energy, and I just get disappointed. So she brings a robe. Porsha's laughing. Oh, girl, it's fine. Simon said no. Simon says, put your hands on your knees. Hey, Simon says, I can't have the robe. So they move on from that. And Londi ends up saying that the situation got bigger than it needed to because somebody got involved. And by somebody, she was talking about Storm. She felt like Porsha didn't see Londi's side of things. And Porsha says, well, Storm was sitting the closest to me. Girl, we're not going to play dumb. We're not going to do this thing where we play dumb. What does your physical proximity have to do with whose side you were taking up? You was taking up Storm's side because Storm was being your mouthpiece. Dom was being your mouthpiece, and that's why you liked it. You was getting mad at Londi because Londi was not being your mouthpiece in Mexico. But now I guess she's reneging and telling you that she's willing to do that. So they move on from that conversation to talk about something else that came up at the tequila tasting. Londi mentions how Dennis told her that Porsha was the one who told him to fire Londi. So not only did your cousin fire you as her assistant with no notice, she then tells Dennis to fire you and basically messes up your bag as well. But you still sitting there crying to her. What do you owe her? She don't pay none of your bills. I don't understand what was going on. So Porsha then goes, who said that? I'm playing. But she might as well have. Porsha then says, I don't remember that. I'm like, okay, very reminiscent of who said that? Porsha all of a sudden doesn't remember it. So then she jumps to trying to gaslight and make Londi believe whatever smoke and mirrors she put in front of her face. I don't understand. You just gonna believe somebody who's talking about your cousin? Dennis wants to create chaos in my life. Dennis wants to do this. No, you are creating chaos in your life. You are setting up obstacles thinking that it's going to ruffle Dennis's feathers. It has not. Everything that you're doing to make him mad has backfired on you, and you're upset that he's not receiving the negative karma that you're putting out for him. That is ridiculous. Porsha, you did that shit. Porsha, you told him to fire Londi. Yes, you did. You got mad at Londi for getting your lambskin Chanel bag oiled up. I would have been mad too. She probably would have got let go, but not without a 2 weeks notice. And if she found another job with your then fiance, Dennis, why not allow her to keep that job? You did tell him to fire her. So then Londi goes, okay, well, fine. I don't feel like we're as close as we should be as cousins. Porsha then says, well, I'm just as close with you as I am with Storm. That is true. However, Storm was getting the benefit of the doubt because, like I told y'all already, Storm was her mouthpiece and Londi was not. If you want to get in where you fit in, you have to do what you're supposed to do, which is be her mouthpiece, right? So next she says, okay, well, fine. Dennis also asked me, why does Porsha treat you so bad? And Porsha getting upset. And Portia's telling her, like, it doesn't make sense. He just wants you to be mad at me. You really just gonna believe him? Oh my gosh. So Londi says, okay, to put this in perspective, when he said it, Dom and Lauren was kind of sitting there like, You right, you right. And that's when she got super upset. And then she couldn't really say that all three of these people were crazy. So what she did was, you weren't there for me when I was in an abusive relationship. Londi says, I was in college. Now, Londi probably didn't know shit about the abusive relationship, okay? And we only knew that it was abusive once Cordell didn't really want you like that, okay? I'm not trying to say there was no abuse. I'm sure it was some sort of mental abuse because the way this man had you on the show, I can't do this as a wife. I can't do that. I'm sure he had some type of hold on you, but I just find it interesting that we didn't really know that until he didn't want to have a baby or he didn't want her to work, something like that. Y'all don't remember better than me, so somebody tell me in the chat. But we didn't know until then. So how is it that you expected your little cousin who was in college to be there for you? Girl, bye. You just trying to bring up something and distract her from the truth. So Porsha gets upset because she can no longer try to convince Londi that her Candyland imaginary world is real. And she walks away getting upset. I'm so tired of my family. They say I don't spend time with them. Why do I my family? I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of this shit, yo. Oh, you tired of it now. And the producers are trying to get you to go back. All of a sudden, Londi breaks out in a shaking cry. It was even more so, it was irritating even more that it was a shaking cry. In a cry where you couldn't close your mouth. It was it was one of them cries where you're crying so hard your teeth riding out your mouth. Londi. Wrong road. I done already gave it to you, Londi. Wrong road. So as soon as Londi starts crying and she plays the victim role better than Porsha can play the victim role, Porsha comes back and says, I'm your big cousin. I love you. They hug it out and they go on. They go on about, sweeping things under the rug like Londi said they should have. Londi said she never should have brought up that conversation. So now, y'all, it's a different day. Porsha is on FaceTime talking to her mom, and she up there gossiping like her mom is her best friend, telling her, there's nothing wrong with the people being best friends. No, there's nothing wrong with you being best friends with your mama, but something about Diane is telling me that Porsha is very much her friend. And something about Diane is also telling me that she probably did not correct Porsha as a child, because she probably thinks that whatever Portia's doing was not as bad as what she did growing up. So I'm interested to know. I guess the world will never know what Diane's story is, but it's something interesting because the apple ain't gonna fall too far from the tree. How is it that your sister Darlene didn't have the parenting skills when it came to Storm, and you do? And you do. No shade. I'm just saying. I think Porsha probably just has the better look of it all because she's on reality TV and she's had success as far as making money. So anyway, now Porsha and Diane are talking, and Porsha tells Diane that Dennis actually apologized for something in Mexico. I think he really just wanted to move on from the situation. I don't know what he apologized for. I'm thinking that they probably had a conversation about him bringing Miss Thang Thang on a trip. That's probably the only thing that he apologized for. And I feel like the only time she would have told him how she felt about him bringing another female on the trip is when the cameras weren't around and whenever nobody else was around to repeat it. So that's probably what he was apologizing for. So next, y'all, we see Dennis and Aunt Liz having a sit-down conversation. And, did I skip that part already? I think I already talked about that part, y'all. Let's move on. So now, y'all, we see Porsha and a Nigerian chef in the house. She's up there trying to cook and act like she can be her best Nigerian housewife. And girl, you ain't cooking enough for Simon. Girl, you done quit all your jobs to sit here and think you're going to cook this man Nigerian food all day until you get that note on their door, until the bank comes sweep that house up from under Simon's feet. So what happens is Simon comes to the house and he tells her that he's finally divorced. And she's super excited about it. And I'm just like, okay, y'all knew y'all was going to get this moment in on the show, but whatever. So now it's time for the Hosea event. Porsha couldn't come, but she sends a video. She takes time out of her day to record herself. Aunt Liz, PJ's not feeling well. I have to go to the hospital. My mom is coming with me. Y'all, I'm going to tell y'all what that is. PJ probably wasn't feeling well. But how much you want to bet? Before she made that video, you and Diane said y'all didn't want to go be around them people. You and Diane was tired of filming. So that's why you record the video and you had to give an alibi as to where your mom was. I'm not buying that it was an actual emergency. And instead of sending a voice note when you got to the waiting room, instead of sending a text message when your daughter was settled, you gonna send a video. Girl, goodbye. And you knew you weren't never going to that event, Porsha, because you called her in your humbled hairstyle. You didn't call her with the 5 bundles and the lace closure. You didn't. So you knew you weren't going to the event. So at the event, y'all, pretty much all of the non-factors are there. No shame. All of the non-factors are there. Simon's there. The assistants are there. Londi's there. And when I say non-factor, I don't mean that they're not a non-factor to me. I mean they're a non-factor to Porsha. And the only time you really see all of this family together on the show is 1 at the waterfall and 2 when they was down there fighting like some damn fools. So the premise of the show has always been Porsha's family mess, in my opinion. It hasn't been this, amazing positive family story like what she wanted it to be. And the reason why is because of Porsha. It just says a lot that the event that actually mattered, which was the Williams legacy, which is feeding the homeless, nobody was there for. So that's real funny. So Simon shows up looking a motherfucking mess, wearing that red tight ass top, built like a damn tornado. That boy built like T Grizzly. He walked in and he had the audacity to stop and talk to Aunt Liz and tell her, y'all need to put some respect on Jose Williams' granddaughter. Who are you? What stake do you have in this legacy? Who are you? See, the reason why I find this dangerous, her relationship with Simon, is because Simon and Porsha have gassed each other up so much that he feels comfortable being her mouthpiece, which is what she wants everybody else to do. And as long as he's playing the assignment, he can somewhat isolate her and take control of what she has, take control of her mind, because she too will convince herself of things that are not reality. So Porsha, I think you need to slow down. Fallon has already gave us her piece on what her relationship was like with Simon. So I think you need to take notes if you haven't already. So I'm just surprised that Aunt Liz brushed it off. I mean, I just talked to y'all about it on the phone, and y'all explained to me that she probably brushed it off because it was an event. But we will have to table that and come back to it. We will have to talk about it again, because I'm like, no, sir, no way you would have been talking to her like that at her event. But whatever. So then we get this big clip where it goes 4 months later. 4 months later. So what? Okay, y'all, the show was supposed to be 9 episodes. We only got 7. Then we get this big break in timeline. And then we see Porsha 4 months later. So Porsha, what happened to them people at Bravo? What did you do to them people at Bravo to where you wasn't fooling with them for 4 months and then you didn't film again until 4 months later? I don't get it. Even the confessional was filmed last. It's typically can film last, but I mean, the confessional that we got today was much different than the other confessionals. I mean, her vibe, the stories that she wanted us to believe. She came there speaking much more maturely. She came there trying to convince us that, she has finally come to a place where she has decided that Dennis is PJ's family. Porsha is doing nothing but regurgitating what City Boy Simon has told her. And now that it's 4 months later, they've come up with their story. They come up with their delusion, a way to be on one accord, and that's what she gonna stand by. So Porsha and Dennis still have not agreed on a mutual co-parenting plan. So they meet up in a restaurant to come up with a co-parenting plan. This time, y'all, Dennis pulls the chair. And this time, Porsha's not wearing her humble hairstyle. She's not wearing her muumuu. She's wearing a cat suit. And, she's trying to give body yaddy. She takes that vest off and you see her whole body. I've been eating right. I've been drinking a lot of water. Bet. This time, Dennis pulls the chair open, whereas in episode 2 to 3, he didn't do that and she got mad. So Dennis says, I like your bag. Didn't I get that for you? And she says, no, thank you, Simon. Calm down. It's been 4 months and you still on that energy. You've been engaged to that man for 4 months. Fiance for now. City Boy Simon acting like that's really going to be a man. and you still feeling some type of way. Porsha, get some help. So he's asking about how the engagement is. And she's like, oh, you care? Yeah, he asked, right? So then she tells him that they actually closed on a house and that they're moving the very next week. That's hard to believe, seeing as though y'all just closed on a house probably a month ago, not even a month, maybe 2 weeks ago, and y'all felt the need to announce it to the world. So whenever you were talking to Dennis then, you wasn't doing nothing but lying and making him think you was doing better than what you was. So she says they're moving next week, spring, summer, fall is when they're moving. And then he asked about a prenup. And she says it's none of your business. Whenever he tries to get more information about where they're moving to, she says to the city, which is hilarious because if y'all have been watching Real Housewives of Atlanta, then you know that Porsha was trying to get Dennis to move out to where she was at because she didn't want to live in the city. You intentionally were doing everything to try to hurt this man, even still 4 months later. Giving very much bitter ass baby mama, and I hate to see it. So Porsha says she's currently looking for schools for PJ. And Dennis says that's a conversation that we both need to be involved in because I'm her dad as well. Yes, Porsha, you need to do better. You really do. And she says, okay, that's fine. That's fine. But what I've been trying to get out of this whole thing is I've been trying to basically make you like a brother. Dennis says, like a brother. What are you talking about? And to me, I felt like Porsha didn't mean that she was trying to make their relationship platonic. Even in Porsha's confessional, she says that she needed to focus on her current family, which was her, Simon, and PJ. I feel like Porsha was trying to somewhat make Dennis feel like a godfather in this situation. That's not cool at all. I'm telling y'all, Porsha is only pulling strings where she can pull them, which is his mama and which is co-parenting, because that's the only relationship that Dennis will have with you when he didn't return that ring to you. So Dennis says, like, are you even being honest with yourself? I was like, oh, they start arguing back and forth. Porsha's suggesting that they need to come up with a co-parenting calendar, right? This is when they start arguing though. Dennis is like, yeah, we can come up with a calendar, but we need to get that situated through the courts for joint custody or half custody is what he says. She then gets riled up. She gets upset. And for what? He should have joint custody because like he said, you like to pick up and travel on the night and go to London in the middle of the night with his daughter, and he's not going to do that. Now, the other thing that I think he should get joint custody on is because y'all, you really said you wanted to get this man in Mexico after you and your family jumped him. Anything could happen. That's another reason why I wouldn't have stepped my ass in your house when it came to the child exchange. The next thing, the next reason why he should get joint custody is because she's sitting there in the confessional earlier on. I told y'all, remember, she said she allowed Dennis to come to the hospital because she wanted PJ to remember that he was there for her. You didn't allow him to do anything. That's his child. So for reasons like that, reasons for you thinking you're going to pick her school and tell him about it later, absolutely he should have got joint custody. So she didn't like to hear that. She didn't like to hear the joint custody thing, and she gets upset. So they start arguing, really Porsha arguing with him. And, you know, I'm just going to allow you to be PJ's dad. She said, oh, you're not going to make it seem like I'm a motherfucking bad mom if that's what you're trying to do. You don't do anything for PJ. You don't pay for anything. Dennis, which I don't feel like was trying to take the situation to another level, Dennis then says, let's not act like it's a money shortage on either side of the table. And I feel like he's saying that because it's not a situation where Porsha is needing Dennis's money, but I'm sure that if it was ever a time that she needed it, she would ask for it. So Porsha, stop trying to make it seem like you have the typical badass baby daddy situation where he ain't buying you diapers, your kid waiting on the stoop for their daddy to come. This ain't that type of situation like he was trying to give us on Instagram. So I'm glad that Dennis is calling her out about it. The thing that was hilarious, though, was whenever the waitress came back with the food hadn't even got out good yet before they started arguing. Whenever the waitress came out with the food, they telling her, oh, get it to go, get it to go. So she trying to sit the food down. They like, no, get it to go. And she kind of just like, okay. They end up storming out. And then we get one final confessional with Porsha, and she says, this whole time I should have been focused on my mini family instead of getting all these extra people involved. Didn't I say that? Didn't we talk about this, y'all, episodes ago? Probably episode 2. I said if you was really concerned about any co-parenting situation, you wouldn't have had your assistant, your second cousin, this person, that person involved in all the mess. But you were trying to create a show. You thought that you and Simon would come off likable. And now that the internet has dragged your name, now that production has you in bad lights and they're actually showing people who you are, you're feeling some type of way about it. That's why I've always called it Porsha's family mess. Porsha's family mess. Okay? Because that's what it's been. But y'all, I don't want to see, I was going to say I don't want to see no more of this. This shit was entertaining. I would watch it again. I would watch it again, but I think Porsha's going to have to take a break, and she's probably not going to want to come back on the scene for a minute because she can't trust production. I mean, she would probably do best while coming back on Real Housewives of Atlanta because the whole show wouldn't be about you. You could share the mess with other people. They could make other people look foolish, not just you, sweetie. So, I don't know, girl. But y'all, I enjoyed this season. I hope y'all enjoyed this review. I hope y'all are lighting up the chat since this is a premiere. Again, y'all, we are on the way to 10,000 subscribers. Off the backs of Porsha acting ass. I'm playing, y'all. So be sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. And I will see y'all on Thursday to talk about Married at First Sight. Until then, I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.